In a quiet and rocky area, Alex walked alone. He loved to explore nature, looking for new places. The sun shone brightly, and the sky was clear. Suddenly, he heard a soft sound coming from behind a large rock. Curious, he walked closer to see what it was. As he moved the rocks, he found a girl lying on the ground. She looked different from anyone he had ever seen. Her skin was a light shade of blue, and she had long, shiny hair that sparkled in the sunlight. Her eyes were big and bright, but they were filled with pain and fear. She was hurt. Alex felt a rush of concern. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. The girl looked up at him, her eyes wide. She was scared. Alex realized that she was not just any girl. She was an alien. But he knew he had to help her. "Don't be afraid," Alex said softly, holding out his hand. "I won't hurt you." The girl hesitated for a moment, but then she took his hand. "I'm Lyra," she said in a weak voice. "Thank you for helping me." Alex could see that Lyra had a deep cut on her arm and some bruises on her legs. "You need help," he said, looking around for something to make her comfortable. He remembered his secret shelter nearby, a safe place where he often went to think. "I have a place where you can rest. Come with me." Lyra nodded, still looking nervous but trusting him. With great care, Alex helped her stand up. She leaned on him for support, and they slowly made their way to the shelter. It was a small cave hidden behind some bushes. Alex had discovered it a few months ago and had kept it as his secret spot. When they reached the cave, Alex helped Lyra sit down on a flat rock inside. "Stay here," he said. "I'll find something to clean your wounds." He quickly gathered some clean water and a cloth from his backpack. He brought it back to Lyra and sat beside her. Lyra watched him with curious eyes. "You're not like the others," she said quietly. "Most humans would not help an alien like me." Alex smiled at her words. "I believe everyone deserves help, no matter where they come from," he replied. Gently, he began to clean her arm. Lyra flinched a little at the sting, but she didn't pull away. "Thank you," she whispered, looking at him with gratitude. Alex felt a warm feeling in his heart. He was glad to be able to help her. As he worked, they started to talk. "What happened to you?" Alex asked. Lyra hesitated, her eyes filled with sadness. "I was captured by bad people," she explained. "They wanted to take me back to my planet. I ran away because I didn't want to be forced into a life I didn't choose." Alex listened carefully. "What do you mean?" he asked. Lyra took a deep breath and told him about her home. "I am from a planet called Zirian," she said. "I am supposed to marry a prince, but I don't love him. I wanted to be free." Alex nodded, understanding her struggle. "That sounds hard," he said, "but you're safe here. I won't let anyone hurt you." Lyra smiled faintly, feeling a little more relaxed. After a while, Alex finished cleaning her wound. "You'll need to rest," he said. "I'll stay here with you." Lyra leaned back against the rock, feeling thankful. "You're very kind," she said. "I didn't think I would find someone like you." As the sun began to set, the cave was filled with soft, golden light. Alex and Lyra continued to talk, sharing stories about their worlds. Alex told her about his family and friends, while Lyra spoke of the beauty of Zirian, with its colorful skies and strange creatures. They laughed and enjoyed each other's company. In that moment, the fear and sadness melted away. Alex felt a strong connection to Lyra. He realized that he wanted to help her, not just because she was hurt, but because he cared about her. Hours passed, and soon it was dark outside. Lyra looked worried again. "What if they find me?" she asked. Alex shook his head. "I won't let that happen. I'll protect you," he promised. Lyra felt comforted by his words. Just then, they heard a loud noise outside the cave. They both froze, fear gripping their hearts. "What was that?" Lyra whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Alex held his breath, listening closely. He knew they had to be careful. "Stay quiet," he said softly as he peeked outside. Shadows moved in the darkness, and Alex's heart raced. He realized that Lyra's enemies were near. He had to think quickly to keep her safe. Becoming friends. The night was dark, and the shadows danced outside the cave. Alex and Lyra held their breath, listening closely. The sounds of footsteps echoed, and Alex's heart raced. He felt a mix of fear and determination. He had to keep Lyra safe. "Stay quiet," Alex whispered, moving carefully to block the entrance. Lyra nodded, her eyes wide with worry. They both listened as the footsteps grew louder. Suddenly, the voices of the aliens searching for Lyra reached their ears. "Where is she?" one of them shouted. "We must find the princess." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. He knew they were looking for Lyra, and he had to think fast. He glanced back at her, who was trembling with fear. "We need to hide," he said urgently. He quickly led her deeper into the cave, away from the entrance. As they settled into a dark corner, Alex felt Lyra's hand clutching his tightly. He could sense her fear, and it made him want to protect her even more. "You're safe with me," he whispered, trying to calm her down. After a few tense moments, the voices faded away, and silence returned to the cave. Alex let out a sigh of relief. "I think they're gone," he said, turning to Lyra. She looked up at him, her big eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said softly. "You saved me." Alex smiled, feeling warmth spread in his chest. "I'm just doing what anyone would do," he replied. "You deserve to be safe." Lyra smiled back, and for the first time, Alex saw a flicker of happiness in her eyes. As the night went on, they stayed in the cave, talking in whispers. Alex wanted to know more about Lyra's life on Sirion. "What is your planet like?" he asked, curious. Lyra's face lit up as she began to describe it. "It is beautiful," she said. "The skies are bright purple, and there are trees that glow at night. We have creatures that can fly without wings. Everything is full of color and life." Alex listened, imagining the amazing world she described. "That sounds incredible. I've never seen anything like it," he said, feeling a bit envious, but also excited for her. "What do you do there?" Lyra thought for a moment. "I spent my days learning and exploring. I love to climb the glowing trees and watch the stars." But now, her voice trailed off, and her smile faded. "I don't want to go back." Alex understood her feelings. "You don't have to go back if you don't want to," he said firmly. "You can stay here and be free." Lyra looked at him with hope. "Do you really mean that?" she asked. "Of course," Alex replied with confidence. "We can figure this out together. I'll help you find a way to stay safe." Feeling a surge of friendship, Lyra smiled again. "Thank you, Alex. You are very kind. No one has ever treated me like this before." Alex felt a blush rise to his cheeks. He was happy to be someone Lyra could trust. As dawn approached, the first light began to peek into the cave. The darkness of the night faded, revealing the beauty of the rocky surroundings. Alex and Lyra stretched and yawned, feeling tired but safe. "Let's find some food," Alex suggested. "You need to get your strength back." Lyra nodded, and together they left the cave. The fresh morning air felt good, and they walked carefully, keeping an eye out for any danger. They found some berries growing on a bush. "Try these," Alex said, picking a few and handing them to Lyra. She hesitated for a moment, but then took a berry and tasted it. Her eyes widened with delight. "They are sweet. I love them," she exclaimed. Alex smiled, feeling happy to see her enjoying herself. They spent the morning collecting berries and chatting about their favorite things. Lyra shared stories about her life, and Alex talked about his adventures exploring Earth. They discovered that they had much in common. Both loved nature and enjoyed exploring new places. As they walked, they laughed and joked, feeling more like friends than strangers. After gathering enough berries, they returned to the cave to eat. They sat on the rocks, sharing their food and stories. Lyra felt lighter, as if the weight of her worries had started to lift. Alex was glad to see her smile more often. "I never thought I would find a friend like you," Lyra said, looking at Alex with sincerity. "You are brave and kind. Thank you for saving me." Alex felt a warm feeling in his heart. "I'm just happy to help," he replied. "I want to make sure you're safe and happy." As the day went on, they spent more time together, exploring the area around the cave. They discovered a small stream with clear water, where they washed their hands and cooled off. Lyra laughed as she splashed water at Alex, who quickly joined in the fun. The sound of their laughter echoed in the peaceful landscape, and for a moment, Lyra forgot about her troubles. In that moment, they were just two friends enjoying life. As the sun began to set again, they returned to the cave, feeling tired but content. "Today was fun," Lyra said, her eyes sparkling. "I feel like I can breathe again." Alex smiled back, knowing that they had built a strong bond. They were not just strangers anymore. They were friends who would face whatever came next together. Danger approaches. The sun shone brightly on the horizon, casting warm light over the landscape. Alex and Lyra spent their days exploring the rocky area around their cave, enjoying each other's company. They laughed and shared stories, slowly building a strong friendship. But in the back of Alex's mind, a worry lingered. The aliens who were searching for Lyra were still out there. One morning, as they were picking berries near the stream, Alex suddenly felt uneasy. He glanced around, sensing that something was off. Lyra noticed his change in mood. "What's wrong, Alex?" she asked, her voice soft and concerned. "I don't know," he replied, trying to shake off the feeling. "I just have a bad feeling. We should be careful." Lyra nodded, her smile fading. She had been feeling safe with Alex, but the thought of danger was always there. They finished gathering berries and decided to head back to the cave. As they walked, Alex kept scanning their surroundings. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and birds chirped happily, but the peace of the moment felt fragile. He could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. When they reached the cave, Alex turned to Lyra. "Let's stay inside for a while," he suggested. "We can rest and eat." Lyra agreed, sensing the tension in the air. They settled inside, sharing the berries they had collected. As they ate, Alex couldn't help but worry about Lyra's safety. "Do you think they will come back?" Lyra asked, her voice trembling slightly. Alex looked at her, trying to be brave for both of them. "I hope not, but we need to be ready just in case," he replied. "I won't let them take you." After their meal, they decided to rest. Lyra leaned against the wall of the cave, closing her eyes. Alex watched her, wishing he could protect her from all danger. He was determined to keep her safe, no matter what it took. A few hours passed, and the sun began to set. The cave was filled with soft, golden light. Alex felt a strange sense of calm, but it didn't last long. Suddenly, he heard voices outside. His heart raced as he recognized the angry shouts of the aliens. "They're back," he whispered urgently, shaking Lyra awake. "We have to hide." Lyra's eyes widened in fear. She quickly followed Alex deeper into the cave, where it was darker and harder to see. They crouched down, trying to remain silent. Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he listened to the voices grow louder. "We have to find the princess," one alien shouted. "She can't be far." Alex held his breath, feeling Lyra's fear radiate beside him. "What do we do?" she whispered, her voice shaking. "They will find us. We'll stay quiet and wait for them to leave," Alex replied, hoping they could stay hidden. He was terrified, but knew he had to be brave for Lyra. The aliens searched the area, their voices echoing in the cave. "She has to be here somewhere," another alien exclaimed. Alex clenched his fists, wishing he could fight them off, but he knew that staying hidden was the best option. After a tense few moments, one of the aliens said, "Check the cave. She might be hiding inside." Alex felt a rush of panic. They were running out of time. "We need to move," he whispered to Lyra. "We can't stay here any longer." They crawled quietly to a smaller opening in the cave, hoping it would lead them to safety. As they squeezed through the narrow space, Alex felt his heart pounding louder than ever. They emerged on the other side into a small chamber. It was dark and filled with rocks, but they were hidden from sight. Lyra pressed against him, trembling with fear. "I hope they don't find us," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Alex wrapped an arm around her, trying to offer comfort. "They won't," he said, though he felt unsure. "We're safe for now." From their hiding spot, they could hear the aliens searching the cave. "She has to be close. Keep looking," one of them shouted. Alex felt anger rise within him. How could anyone be so cruel? Minutes felt like hours as they listened to the aliens searching. Alex's mind raced with thoughts of what to do next. They needed a plan. He couldn't let Lyra go back to a life she didn't want. After what felt like an eternity, the voices began to fade. "She's not here," one alien said. "Let's move on. We'll search the other areas." Relief washed over Alex as he listened to their footsteps grow distant. Once the coast was clear, Alex turned to Lyra. "I think they're gone," he said, taking a deep breath. Lyra looked pale, her eyes wide with fear. "That was too close," she replied, her voice trembling. "We need to find a safer place to stay," Alex said, determination in his eyes. "We can't let them find us again." Lyra nodded, feeling grateful to have someone like Alex by her side. They emerged from the small chamber, cautious and quiet. The cave was still, but they both knew the danger wasn't over. They had to be careful and smart. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they left the cave, Alex felt a sense of purpose. He wouldn't let anything happen to Lyra. They were friends, and he would do everything in his power to protect her. The big secret. The sun rose over the horizon, casting a warm glow across the landscape. Alex and Lyra had found a quiet spot near the stream where they felt safe. After the close call with the aliens, they knew they needed to talk. The danger was still there, but they also needed to share their thoughts and feelings. Sitting on a flat rock by the water, Alex looked at Lyra. "We should come up with a plan to stay safe," he said. Lyra nodded, but her expression was serious. "There's something I need to tell you, Alex," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "What is it?" Alex asked, sensing the weight of her words. Lyra took a deep breath, looking down at the water. "I haven't been completely honest with you. I have a big secret." Alex felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "What do you mean?" he asked gently. "You can tell me anything." Lyra hesitated for a moment, gathering her courage. "I'm not just any alien. I'm a princess from Zirian," she finally revealed. "That's why they were looking for me. I was supposed to marry someone I don't love, and I ran away because I wanted to be free." Alex was taken aback. "A princess," he repeated, his mind racing. "I had no idea." Lyra looked at him, her eyes filled with fear. "I didn't want to tell you because I was afraid you would think I'm different, or that you wouldn't want to help me anymore." Alex shook his head. "Lyra, you're still you. I don't care if you're a princess. You're my friend, and I want to help you," he said firmly. Lyra felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had been so scared to share her secret, but now she felt lighter. "But what does this mean?" Alex asked, concerned. "Are they going to come after you even more now that they know you escaped?" Lyra nodded, her expression serious. "Yes. They will not stop until they find me. My family believes I am a valuable prize. They think I should marry to unite our people. But I don't want that. I want to choose my own path." Alex felt anger rise inside him. "That's not fair. You deserve to live your life the way you want." Lyra smiled at his words, feeling grateful for his support. "Thank you, Alex. It means a lot to me." They sat in silence for a moment, the sound of the water flowing around them calming their nerves. Lyra looked at Alex, her heart full of hope. "If you're willing to help me, I have a plan," she said, her eyes shining with determination. "Really?" Alex asked, intrigued. "What do you have in mind?" "We need to find a way to get off this planet and back to Zirion," Lyra explained. "But we have to be careful. If they catch us, they will take me back. We need to stay hidden and find a ship." Alex thought for a moment. "That sounds dangerous, but I'll help you," he said. "We can find a way to do this together." Lyra felt her heart swell with gratitude. She had never felt so supported before. "But first, we need to get some supplies," Alex said, looking around. "We can't go anywhere without food and water." Lyra nodded in agreement. "I know a few places where we can find berries and other things," she said. Together, they set off, feeling a sense of purpose. As they walked, Alex couldn't help but think about what Lyra had shared. She was a princess, yet she was so down to earth. He admired her strength and bravery for wanting to be free. They collected berries and nuts, filling their bags with food. Along the way, they shared more stories about their lives. Lyra told Alex about her family, the palace, and her life as a princess. She spoke of her dreams and the adventures she wanted to have. Alex listened intently, fascinated by her stories. "It sounds like you had a beautiful life," he said, "but I can see why you wanted to leave." Lyra smiled at his understanding. "Yes, I love my home, but I want to make my own choices." After gathering enough food, they returned to their safe spot by the stream. Lyra felt a sense of relief as they sat down to rest. "I'm glad we're in this together," she said, looking at Alex. "I don't think I could do this alone." Alex smiled back, feeling a sense of pride. "You're strong, Lyra. We will find a way to keep you safe and help you get back home." Lyra felt a warm feeling inside. She had never had someone fight for her before. As the sun began to set, the sky filled with beautiful colors. Alex and Lyra sat side by side, feeling a bond that was growing stronger every day. They knew they had a long road ahead, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead together. In that moment, Lyra felt hope for the future. She was not just a princess running away from her responsibilities. She was a young woman with dreams and a friend who believed in her. And that made all the difference. The plan. As night fell, the stars twinkled above, creating a beautiful blanket of light in the dark sky. Alex and Lyra sat by the stream, their hearts full of hope and determination. They had a plan, and it was time to make it happen. "First, we need to find a ship," Lyra said, her voice steady. "I've heard that there are some hidden near the old ruins outside the forest." Alex nodded, feeling excitement build inside him. "That's a great start. But how do we get there without being caught?" Lyra thought for a moment, tapping her chin. "We need to wait until night. It's safer when it's dark. We can sneak through the trees and stay out of sight." Alex agreed, feeling a sense of urgency. "Let's gather everything we need before then. We can take our food and some supplies." Lyra smiled, feeling grateful for his support. "You're right. We should be prepared." They spent the next few hours organizing their bags, filling them with berries, nuts, and anything else they could find. Alex searched for small rocks and branches to use as tools, while Lyra gathered leaves for warmth. They worked together, feeling more like a team with each passing moment. Once everything was packed, they sat down to rest. "What if we really find a ship?" Alex asked, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "What will you do when you get back to Zirion?" Lyra looked thoughtful, her expression a mix of hope and determination. "I will find a way to live my life on my own terms," she replied. "I want to explore the universe and meet new people. I want to be free." Alex admired her spirit. "You deserve that, Lyra. I hope you find it." They shared a moment of silence, both lost in their thoughts. The stars above twinkled brightly, almost as if they were cheering for their plans. As darkness settled in, they prepared to leave. Lyra felt a mix of excitement and fear. "Are you ready?" she asked Alex, her voice steady. He smiled at her, trying to ease her worries. "I'm ready if you are. Let's do this together." They started their journey, moving quietly through the trees. The forest was dark, but Alex felt a sense of comfort being with Lyra. They stayed close, listening for any signs of danger. The night was calm, but their hearts raced with anticipation. After walking for a while, they'd reached the edge of the forest. In front of them lay the old ruins. The moonlight illuminated the crumbling stones, casting eerie shadows. "This is it," Lyra whispered, her eyes wide with awe. "Are you sure this is the right place?" Alex asked, looking around. Lyra nodded, feeling a surge of hope. "Yes, the ship should be somewhere here. We just need to find it." They began to search the ruins, moving cautiously among the stones. As they explored, Lyra felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. "I can't believe we're really doing this," she said, her voice filled with wonder. Suddenly, Alex spotted something gleaming in the moonlight. "Over here," he called, rushing toward it. Lyra followed, her heart racing. When they reached the spot, they found an old, dusty spaceship hidden behind a pile of rocks. "Is this it?" Alex asked, his eyes shining with excitement. Lyra stepped closer, inspecting the ship. "It looks like it, but it might not be in good condition," she warned. They examined the ship closely. It was small, with a few broken panels and faded paint. "Do you think it can fly?" Alex asked, feeling uncertain. Lyra touched the control panel, her fingers brushing over the buttons. "I'm not sure, but we can try to fix it." Alex felt a surge of determination. "Let's see what we can do," he said, already searching for tools. Lyra joined him, and together they began to clean the ship. They worked side by side, sharing ideas and laughter as they tinkered with the old machine. As they worked, Lyra felt a sense of freedom. For the first time, she was in control of her destiny. "I can't believe we're really doing this," she said, her voice filled with excitement. "We're building our own future." Hours passed as they repaired the ship, but just as they started to feel hopeful, they heard a noise in the distance. Alex froze, his heart racing. "What was that?" he whispered. "I don't know, but we need to hurry," Lyra replied, panic creeping into her voice. They worked faster, adrenaline pushing them to finish. They knew they had to be quick before the aliens found them. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they stepped back to inspect their work. "I think it's ready," Lyra said, hope shining in her eyes. Alex nodded, feeling a rush of excitement. "Let's see if it can fly." Lyra climbed into the cockpit, her heart pounding. "Here goes nothing," she said, pressing buttons and flipping switches. The ship rumbled to life, the lights flickering on. Alex watched in awe as the controls came alive. "This might actually work," he shouted, grinning from ear to ear. Just as they were about to celebrate, they heard voices in the distance. Alien voices, getting closer. "Quick, we have to go now," Alex urged, his heart racing. Lyra worked the controls, her fingers flying over the buttons. The ship shook, and they could feel the power beneath them. As the engines roared to life, they heard the aliens shouting outside the ruins. "We found her. Don't let her escape." Lyra gasped. "We have to go. Now." With a final push of the button, the ship lifted off the ground, rising into the night sky. As they soared into the air, they felt a sense of freedom and excitement. They were finally taking control of their fate. A showdown. The ship shook as it climbed into the night sky, leaving the ruins behind. Lyra's heart raced with excitement and fear. "We did it, Alex. We're really flying," she shouted, her voice filled with joy. Alex grinned, feeling a mix of relief and exhilaration. But their joy was short-lived. As they soared higher, alarms blared in the cockpit. Red lights flashed, warning them of incoming threats. "What's happening?" Lyra asked, her eyes wide with fear. "Someone is following us," Alex shouted, looking at the control panel. "They must have seen us take off." He quickly scanned the displays, trying to figure out how to escape. Outside the ship, they could see dark shapes moving closer. "They're catching up," Lyra cried, gripping the controls tightly. "What do we do?" Alex's mind raced. "We need to outsmart them. Can you maneuver the ship?" Lyra nodded, her determination shining through her fear. "I can try. Just tell me what to do." "Okay, keep it steady. And when I say go, turn hard to the left," Alex instructed, feeling adrenaline coursing through him. Lyra focused on his words, ready to act. As the enemy ships drew nearer, Alex felt the tension in the air. "Now, turn left," he yelled. Lyra twisted the controls, and the ship veered sharply to the side. They could hear the enemy ships roaring past them, barely missing their tail. "Nice move," Alex praised, feeling a rush of excitement. "But we can't let them catch us. We need to find a place to hide." Lyra searched the stars for any signs of safety. "There, a cluster of asteroids," she shouted, pointing to a dense area filled with large rocks floating in space. "We can hide there." "Great idea. Get us in there," Alex urged, his heart racing. Lyra skillfully maneuvered the ship into the asteroid field, dodging the massive rocks as they flew. The enemy ships followed closely behind, their engines roaring loudly. "Hold on," Lyra shouted as she weaved through the asteroids. The ship bounced and shook as they narrowly avoided collision. Alex gripped the edge of his seat, his heart pounding. Just then, an enemy ship fired a blast. It hit the side of their ship, causing it to shudder violently. "We're hit," Lyra cried, her eyes wide with fear. "What do we do?" "Stay calm. We need to keep moving," Alex said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Can you keep flying?" "I'll do my best," Lyra replied, determination shining in her eyes. She focused on the controls, guiding their ship deeper into the maze of asteroids. The enemy ships struggled to follow, their size making it hard to maneuver. "We need to get some distance," Alex shouted. "If we can break their line of sight, we can lose them." Lyra nodded, her concentration intense. "I'll try to make a sharp turn around that big asteroid." "Do it," Alex urged, feeling the thrill of the chase. Lyra pulled hard on the controls, and the ship whipped around the massive rock, gaining speed as they sped away. They could hear the enemy ships growl behind them, firing blasts in an attempt to hit their target. But the asteroids provided cover, and Lyra used them to her advantage. "This is working," she shouted, feeling a surge of hope. Just then, they spotted a larger asteroid up ahead with a cave entrance. "We can hide in there," Alex yelled, excitement bubbling within him. "Go for it." Lyra steered the ship toward the cave, her heart racing. They entered the dark space, feeling the weight of the asteroid overhead. "We're safe for now," she said, taking a deep breath. They parked the ship inside the cave, and the darkness enveloped them. "Let's hope they don't find us here," Lyra whispered, glancing at Alex. They sat in silence for a moment, their hearts still pounding from the adrenaline. Suddenly, Alex heard voices echoing outside the cave. "They must be searching for us," he said urgently. Lyra nodded, worry etched on her face. "What if they come in here?" "We need to stay quiet," Alex whispered. "If they can't find us, maybe they'll leave." They held their breath, listening to the sounds outside. The enemy ships hovered nearby, their engines humming as they searched. "They can't be far," one alien shouted. "They must be hiding in one of these caves." Alex and Lyra exchanged worried glances. They knew they had to act fast. "We can't stay here forever," Alex said. "We need to make a plan." Lyra nodded, determination returning to her. What if we create a distraction? We can use the ship's systems to make it look like we're still flying. That could work. Alex replied, feeling a spark of hope. We can set it to autopilot and make it fly out of the cave. Exactly, Lyra said, a smile spreading across her face. I'll set it up while you keep an eye on the entrance. Alex agreed, moving to the entrance of the cave, his heart racing as he peered outside. He could see the enemy ships scanning the area, their searchlights moving back and forth. Lyra quickly worked on the controls, setting the ship to autopilot. Okay, it's ready, she said, her voice filled with urgency. We just need to time it right. As the enemy ships drew closer, Alex felt a wave of anxiety. Now or never, he said. Let's do this. Lyra pressed the button, and the ship powered up, its engines roaring to life. It slowly moved out of the cave, drawing the attention of the enemy ships. It worked. They're following the ship. Lyra cheered. Let's go. We need to escape now. Alex urged, leading the way as they exited the cave. They hurried back to their own ship, feeling a rush of adrenaline. As they climbed aboard, Lyra took the controls. Hold on tight, she shouted, her eyes fierce with determination. The ship jolted as they took off, flying into the vastness of space. Behind them, the enemy ships turned their attention toward the ship they had set as a distraction. We did it, Alex shouted, his heart soaring. Now we can get away. But the battle was not over yet. The enemy ships quickly realized the ruse and began to chase after them again. Stay focused, Lyra. We need to outsmart them again, Alex urged. Lyra nodded, her expression fierce. I won't let them take us back. With the stars shining brightly around them, they flew into the unknown, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Together, they would fight for their freedom, no matter the cost. A new journey. The ship shook as it flew through the vastness of space. Lyra gripped the controls, her face set with determination. We need to get as far away from those ships as possible, she shouted, glancing at Alex, who was watching the radar with concern. Keep heading toward that star cluster, Alex said, pointing to a bright group of stars on the display. It might give us some cover. Lyra nodded and adjusted the ship's course. As they moved farther away, she could feel the tension in her body start to ease. Do you think they'll give up? She asked, her voice filled with worry. I hope so, Alex replied, his eyes focused on the radar. But we need to stay alert. They won't stop until they find you. Lyra took a deep breath, pushing back her fear. I can't go back, she said softly. I want to be free to choose my own life. Alex smiled at her bravery. And you will be. We just have to keep moving forward. As they flew through the star cluster, the ship glided smoothly. Bright colors filled the view screen as they passed by glowing planets and shining stars. Lyra felt a sense of wonder wash over her. Look at all of this, she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. It's beautiful, Alex agreed, feeling inspired by the sights around them. We're really out here, exploring space together. Lyra grinned. It feels like a dream. I can't believe we actually escaped. But just as they started to relax, the radar beeped loudly. What is it? Lyra asked, her heart sinking. Alex's face turned serious as he checked the screen. We have company. 2 enemy ships are following us. Lyra's heart raced again. What do we do? Let's try to lose them in the asteroid belt up ahead, Alex suggested quickly. We can use the rocks for cover. Lyra nodded, her hands steady on the controls. Okay, here we go. She turned the ship sharply, heading toward the asteroid belt. The ship swerved and dipped as they entered the maze of rocks. We need to be careful, Alex warned, watching the radar closely. If we crash, we're done for. I know, Lyra replied, her focus intense. She expertly navigated the ship, weaving in and out of the asteroids. The ship shook as they barely missed a few large rocks. Keep going, Alex urged. "They're right behind us." Lyra pushed the ship to its limits, her heart pounding. "I can't let them catch us," she shouted. She made a tight turn, and the ship spun around a massive asteroid, narrowly avoiding a collision. The enemy ships followed closely, firing their weapons. Explosions lit up the dark space behind them. "They're not giving up," Alex yelled, his voice filled with urgency. "Hold on tight," Lyra shouted as she made another sharp turn. The ship bounced, and Alex braced himself against the control panel. "We need to find a way to lose them." "Look." Alex pointed ahead. "There's a large asteroid. If we can get behind it, maybe they won't see us." Lyra nodded, her eyes focused. "I see it." She turned the ship sharply, racing toward the large rock. As they flew behind it, she felt a rush of hope. We might lose them here. The ship shook as they hid behind the asteroid. They could hear the enemy ships zooming past, searching for them. Lyra and Alex held their breath, listening intently. "Do you think they'll find us?" Lyra whispered, anxiety creeping in again. "I don't know," Alex replied, his voice steady. "But we have to stay quiet and wait." Minutes felt like hours as they listened to the sounds of the enemy ships searching. Finally, they heard their engines fade away into the distance. "I think they're gone," Lyra exclaimed, feeling a wave of relief. Alex smiled, his heart racing with excitement. "We did it. We lost them." Lyra laughed, feeling a rush of joy. "I can't believe it." But as they settled down, reality hit them. "What do we do next?" Lyra asked, looking at Alex. "We need to find a safe place to land and gather more supplies," he said thoughtfully. "We can't keep flying without a plan." Lyra nodded, understanding the importance of their next move. "There are many planets in this star cluster. Maybe we can find one that's safe." They began to scan the nearby planets, looking for signs of life. One planet caught their attention. "Look at that one," Lyra said, pointing at a blue-green planet. "It looks like it has water and trees. It might be a good place to land." "Let's check it out," Alex agreed. "We need to see if it's safe." As they approached the planet, they could see the surface covered in lush forests and sparkling lakes. "This looks perfect," Lyra said, excitement bubbling inside her. They descended toward the planet, feeling the ship shake as they entered the atmosphere. "Hold on," Lyra shouted, guiding the ship toward a clear area near the trees. With a gentle thud, the ship landed safely on the ground. "We did it," Alex cheered, a huge smile on his face. Lyra felt a rush of joy and relief. "We're finally here. This is our new beginning." They stepped out of the ship, taking in the fresh air and the sounds of nature. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and birds chirped happily. "Let's explore," Alex said, feeling adventurous. "Who knows what we'll find here?" Lyra nodded, her heart full of hope. "This is just the start of our journey. We have so much to discover." Hand in hand, they ventured into the forest, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead. Together, they would build a new life, free from the shadows of the past. In that moment, Lyra realized that she was finally where she belonged, on a new journey with a true friend by her side.